Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me on whatever podcast platform you're joining me. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. And if you're joining me on my YouTube channel, hit that like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell a friend. You know the vibes. We really don't deserve LeBron James. And I'm not just saying that just to say it. I mean, like, legit, we don't deserve LeBron James. Let's just keep this in mind about who LeBron James is. LeBron James is a phenom who came into the league at a time where you needed somebody to carry on the legacy. You got to remember, at the time when LeBron came in, this was the era of the Spurs and the Lakers and the Boston Celtics, who had reemerged. But all of those teams were full of veterans. And even though they played out a longer amount of time, where was the next star? Where was the next transcendent star? You had Kobe, but Kobe was probably on the back nine by that time. Everybody with the Celtics, they were on the back nine. You needed another transcendent star, and here comes LeBron James, who at 18 years old was labeled King James. By the way, there's this narrative that he gave himself the name. Not true. He just did the smart thing, the business thing, and made sure that that name became his name. He didn't let others profit off of him. He decided to make that name profit for himself. He didn't title himself. He wasn't the self-titled king. Somebody else started calling him King James, and he got the name the same way that most people get their names. A, it's something slick, a nice play on words, or B, it fits their game. Guess what? Both apply here. King James rolls with the whole, but also he is king because he is tops. And I'm not just a LeBron homer who just loves everything he does and it doesn't matter what happens, because I'm a Lakers fan. So when he wasn't with the Lakers, I still roll with the Lakers, but I've always admired him. I've always admired how he handled himself. And as a basketball player, to continue to grow your game, to never fall victim to what the naysayers tell you about who they think you should be, to be true to your game and still have the level of success LeBron James has had, is admirable. And yet at every single turn, people find reason to try to denigrate him, to try to bring him down. Why? Because you don't want to see him winning, because there's a chance that he might be better than Jordan. And I don't mean as a basketball player, because I don't think anybody who's a basketball person thinks LeBron James is a better basketball player than Michael Jordan, but he's close. I don't think anybody is willing to say that he is a better basketball player than Michael Jordan, but he's close. And here's something that nobody ever talks about. For as great of an athlete Michael Jordan was, he's not LeBron James. Sorry. For as great of an athlete as Michael Jordan was, and he was a phenomenal athlete, he is not LeBron James, period, end. You stand Michael Jordan next to LeBron James, and you name Michael Jordan, Mikael Jamar, and LeBron James, James Leroy, you're picking LeBron. You're picking 6'8", 6'9", 270, run 4.4, 4.5 40, jump out the gym every single day. When we're just talking about raw athleticism, it's not a debate. It's LeBron and it's everybody else. We're talking about raw athleticism. Hey, Dominique, nope. Hey, Dr. Nope. Hey, nope. Hey, Michael, nope. We have never seen anything like this. Not as an athlete, not just as a pure athlete. The only thing that comes close is the freak of nature known as Wilt Chamberlain. Because Wilt Chamberlain was that in a 7-foot package. But, so if we're talking about athlete, okay, let's put Wilt Chamberlain up there. Even though I don't know if Wilt Chamberlain would have had the same speed, although I wouldn't doubt it, he was phenomenal. LeBron James was everything. He came into this league as an 18-year-old to one of the worst franchises in the history of basketball. Definitely to one of the worst ran franchises in the history of basketball. Don't even get me started on how they flubbed this thing up. You mean in 7 years, 8 years, you never got this man any legitimate running mates? In 7 years, 8 years, you weren't able to get one guy to say, hey, I want to go and play with that dude who plays like Magic Johnson, but Magic Johnson on steroids. No, never. He drug a team full of nobodies, an island of misfit toys, to the championship, and then got ridiculed by being swept by one of the greatest teams in the history of basketball, coached by the best coach in the history of the NBA. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it's not Red Auerbach. I'm sorry. It's not Phil Jackson. It's Greg Popovich. And the reason it's Greg Popovich is because Greg Popovich has never had a team with Kobe and Shaq on it, or Kobe and 3 other All-Stars, or Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman and Tony Kukoc, and I can go on. Yeah, it's Greg Popovich. Sorry. So he lost 4-0 after beating an Eastern Conference team that had just won a title. After beating the Detroit, where he put the entire team on his back, and all people could say was, well, he got swept by the Spurs. He's a failure. So what did he do? He took his career into his own hands. He says, you know what? I'm going to start calling the shots of my career. I'm going to dictate where I go, who I play with, how I do it. And why? Because I'm that good that I can do it. So he takes a team who's not a threat to be a champion. Miami was not winning any championships as constituted. He goes there. He brings down another star with them. They form the Heatles. You all kill him because he decided to leave Cleveland on television, and he made a couple $1 million for the Boys and Girls Club. And you killed him as if he was the worst human being ever. We do not deserve LeBron James. And then to hear someone like Mike Greenberg the other day criticize LeBron James for missing a game but raising a banner that he won, for fulfilling the prophecy of him coming to LA, which was to win a championship, to hear Mike Greenberg like dismiss him and get on him and then try to back out of it and go, well, I don't mean it to just be about LeBron, but it struck me as just wrong. And it's like, no. What strikes me as wrong is you questioning LeBron and what he does, because at every move he's made the right decision, even if you don't think it was the right decision. At every single move, He's a couple steps ahead of you guys, and you don't like it because you're used to having the control. You're used to being able to dictate. You're used to being able to predict. You can't predict. You don't know. Why? Because you're shocked that a black kid from poverty came into the NBA and immediately had the business savvy and the moxie to move like executives move. That's why. We don't deserve him. And here's to my fellow black people out here. We really got to get it together. We definitely don't deserve him. We constantly denigrate him in order to boost up Michael Jordan. We constantly denigrate him in order to boost up Kobe Bryant. We constantly try to replace him with other guys who aren't at his level in the NBA right now, Kevin Durant. And we constantly try to do it and without ever just saying, you know what, we can love all of these people equally, and we can boost up the guy who is holding us down. How is he holding us down? I'll tell you how. Oh, well, you know, you can't just give an 18-year-old money. They don't know how to handle themselves. That's the argument from the NCAA about paying these athletes. And when I say athletes, we know we're talking about black athletes. That's where it comes down to, well, you know, you can't give an 18-year-old money. They gave an 18-year-old $100 million. He's helping to change the world. Oh, well, you know, these black athletes, they're out there cheating on their wives and, you know, they got baby mamas all over the place. Not LeBron James. Not LeBron James. Not LeBron James, who's still with his high school wifey. Not LeBron James, who has 3 kids, all by that same woman that they all live together and do TikTok videos together. Not that LeBron James. Oh, you want a family man? You got LeBron James. You want somebody who knows how to commit to his community? You got LeBron James. You want somebody that's giving back in the hood? You got LeBron James. You want somebody that's doing what he needs to do to be the beacon of light for other people? You got LeBron James. And every single time I look up, you dudes, you ladies are finding another reason to talk bad about LeBron James. If you're not going to hold him down, who's going to hold him down? Black people, I'm talking to you. If you're not going to hold him down, who's going to hold him down? Bomani Jones, who is the only ESPN podcast that I listen to regularly. I've not missed a right time episode since he was doing the right time 5 days a week, then went back to 1 day, and now he's up to 3 days a week. I've been listening. You know why? Because I respect that man. I respect what he does. I admire him. I in some respects hope to be him, even though we're the same age. He reminds me of the person that I would like people to recognize that I am. Really intelligent, researches, doesn't just talk just for the sake of talking, knows what he's talking about before he says it, knows a lot about a lot. Not afraid to share his opinion, probably don't want to get into an argument with him. That's Bomani Jones. And you know what Bomani Jones did while LeBron James was trying to, you know, talk about advocacy and helping black folks and being out in front? Instead of just saying, hey, LeBron, good job, you know, I get it. He was like, no, you want to be Muhammad Ali, but you're never going to be Muhammad Ali. You know what? He's right. I can't argue anything that Bomani Jones said. He's right. because his argument was that Muhammad Ali did it when he had everything to lose. LeBron's doing it now that he has nothing to lose. His bag is already secured. Muhammad Ali sacrificed the bag. That's what he's saying. I get it. He's right. And you know why he's right? Because he's always right. Bomani Jones is one of the smartest people in the game. And he's not only smart, he's savvy. He understands it. So he wouldn't have said it if it wasn't true. He wouldn't have said it if he knew that you guys couldn't come back at him for it, because it's right. But did it really have to be said? He could have just let LeBron James live. You know why? Because we just don't have a lot of these dudes. We don't have a lot of these dudes. Not a lot of these dudes that hold up the ideals of what we want our black men to be, that hold up the ideals of what we want the outside world to know about us as black men. Was it right? Yes, it was right. Was it necessary? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We don't deserve him. And he's not on the back nine. He's like on his last few holes. He'll be gone before you know it. And I have news for you. There are no LeBron James on the way. There are no LeBron James on the way. When LeBron James came into the league, you still had Kobe for several more years. When LeBron James leaves, there's a good chance you may still have Kevin Durant. But Durant's on his back nine. You may still have Steph Curry, but Steph Curry's on his back nine. But as far as that dude, that guy, for the next 10, 15, 20 years, you don't have him. You're still waiting for him to show up. There are no more LeBron James. And we're squandering. We are squandering our time with him. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me on Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. We do this thing a couple times a week. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree. But whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. And if you're joining me on my YouTube channel, like, subscribe, tell a friend, leave a comment. I'll see you next time. Peace.